So, this is going to be new for a lot of people, but slavery was not over in the U.S. by Juneteenth. The federal holiday commemorates June 19th in 1865 when slaves in Galveston, Texas found out they were free. Major General Gordon Granger issuing General Orders Number 3 to enforce the Emancipation Proclamation in Texas at the end of the Civil War. But the Emancipation Proclamation did not free slaves in Kentucky. Kentucky never seceded from the Union. President Abraham Lincoln issued the proclamation in 1863, ending slavery for slaves in Confederate states as a war tactic. But Kentucky was not a Confederate state. So slavery continued as usual in Kentucky and other places for 6 more months, legally ending on December 6th with the ratification of the 13th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution. The only path to freedom before that December, if your owners didn't free you, included running away and crossing the Ohio River to the north, like Lewis and Harriet Hayden, two slaves from Lexington, Kentucky, who escaped with their son through the Underground Railroad, becoming abolitionists decades before. Other paths to freedom for slaves included running away to a Union Army base and enlisting as a soldier for the U.S. colored troops and taking wives, children, and other family members with them. Camp Nelson in Nicholasville was the largest recruitment center for black soldiers in Kentucky and the third largest in the Union. As Ranger Steve Fan from Camp Nelson explains, if you didn't run away, chances are you were still a slave after Juneteenth.
Juneteenth is a really important day, especially in Texas. That's when the U.S. Army basically enforces the Emancipation Proclamation. If you read the General Orders Number 3 by General Gordon Granger, who's buried in the Lexington Cemetery just up the road, by the way, he's basically talking about enforcing the President's proclamation, and that's the Emancipation Proclamation. But there are still enslaved people in Kentucky. There are still enslaved people in Delaware as well. If you are not a wife or a child of a U.S. colored troop and you don't make it to a base like Camp Nelson, you might still be enslaved. And there are thousands of people that are still enslaved well into the summer and fall of 1865. Slavery officially ends in Kentucky on December 6, 1865, with the ratification of the 13th Amendment to the Constitution. And this is the kind of stat or really shows you the complexities of emancipation here. Kentucky did not ratify the 13th Amendment until 1976.
The 13th Amendment was ratified by three-fourths of the states and went into effect on December 6 in 1865 without support from Kentucky. Kentucky lawmakers finally approved the amendment on March 18th in 1976 in a symbolic vote.